Anil Antony is now joining us. Thank you so much, Mr. Antony, for your time. A very good morning, Sneha this side. I want to begin by asking you, there's been a lot of conversation from the BJP, from several other leaders within the Congress, who had quit the Congress, welcoming this move. Have you been frustrated for a long time, or was this just this one episode that has got you upset with the Congress and that's why you put on your papers?
See, I did submit my resignation in the morning, and the reasons for my resignation has been made very clear in that particular letter. It has been a bunch of incidents that has been happening for a while. I started working for the party for, it's a very short while when compared to a lot of senior veterans who left the party after 4 and 5 decades. So I have just been in the party for 3-4 years. It is a very short time, and I did have a great learning experience working with a lot of people, and I
whatever I could to support the party's initiatives and a few major elections. However, the last few months, whatever I've been seeing and
has been very disappointing. And the last 24 hours, having a bad echo. For the last 24 hours, the response from certain corners, I would say, has been something which has been, I would say, it has given me the impression that somebody like me would find it very impossible to work in certain environment, and I think that for the best of my interest as well as the parties, it is better that I resign from all the major posts that I am holding and I continue with my own professional activities, and I took this particular call.
You know, there are several within the Congress party who actually feel the same way. You did say that there are some people who called you up. If you could give us an idea about who those people were and what did they exactly tell you about the documentary and about pulling that tweet back?
I'm not able to hear.
Mr. Antony, I'm just going to repeat my question.
The audio will come.
No, but I won't be able to hear.
Mr. Antony, if you can hear me. I'm just going to repeat my question, hoping that you can hear me this time around. Who were those people who called you, asking you to pull your tweet back or remove your tweet? Okay, we'll just in fact take a few seconds to reconnect with Mr. Anil Antony again. Remember, he's speaking to India Today exclusively on all of these developments vis-a-vis his resignation, that tweet that he had put out on the BBC documentary, essentially saying that this isn't something that we must pay much attention to, talking about BBC's journalism, and he said that there should be respect for Indian institutions, referring to the Supreme Court verdict on the then Chief Minister of Gujarat, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and his alleged involvement in the Gujarat riots. Respect institutions in India and worry a little more about Indian sovereignty. These are attempts to undermine India's sovereignty, is what he had said, which obviously didn't go down very well with some party colleagues of his, and he says that he was asked to delete that tweet. He also faced online abuse, is what he said when he put that tweet out. And he's been disappointed with the sequence of events within the Congress over the last 24 hours or so, and he's chosen to resign. He's put that resignation letter also saying that at a time when there is this ongoing trek for love. Anil Antony is back with us. Anil Antony, I want to ask you, who asked you to remove that tweet, or who within the Congress essentially called you?
See, at this moment, I would not want to give any names, but I would just say that in the morning I made a very innocuous tweet where I would again, because there is a lot of allegations as well as a lot of miscommunication going around, but I want to again and again clarify that I as a person, I haven't made any comments nor have made any statement that is contrary to the view of the Congress in any manner. All I have said in that particular tweet, that tweet is very clear, where I have said that I have a lot of political differences with the BJP. Yet, when it comes to certain things, when it comes to our country's core interest, including our sovereignty, even any other interest, including security, strategic interest, whatever it is, like, we shouldn't be playing politics with it, because end of the day, that is creating a fire which will have a lot of long-term ramifications. So I just said that we shouldn't put political interest over certain things. This is a very innocuous, simple statement. But sadly, let's say the response of the party after that, I would say, has been very appalling. Where in the next few hours, I had a lot of calls from across the spectrum. I at this moment don't want to name anybody. Because end of the day, I do believe that all the people did speak to me expecting a certain degree of trust and privacy, and at this moment I want to keep it. But there was a lot of nudging to make me let's say, either pull back the tweet or say something contrary. But because of my reasons, because I do sincerely believe that whatever I said is based on my convictions, I actually refused. But then the response after that, that is what has shocked me, and that has led me to believe that it is untenable for somebody like me to work in this organization, because I haven't deleted anything. You all are all free to go to my Twitter page, my Facebook page, especially my Facebook page. You go to that Facebook page from 8 p.m. Even now it hasn't stopped, where the only thing is actually a lot of hurtful abuses, a lot of threats, a lot of obnoxious comments, just because of a one tweet which somebody didn't like. And I know exactly where this is coming from.
Where is it coming from?
Very sad that a party like this, which actually I'm a part of, I am born in this organization, I have deep love for this organization. My father has been working for this organization for almost 6 decades. And an organization like this, after just because of one tweet which somebody found to be untenable, suddenly has unleashed this monster. And then you have the audacity to actually say that you stand for freedom of speech and you stand for love. This is not freedom of speech nor love. This is ridiculous.
Okay,
So
I want to ask you, you said I know where exactly this is coming from, the online hate. Where is it coming from? If you could give us a sense of...
See, again and again, I don't want to, like I said, I come from certain background, and I am not somebody who likes to personally attack people. That is not my brand of any politics. But I had been working for this party from 2017. From 2019, I had been working for the party because of the support and the blessings and the request of Dr. Shashi Tharoor, who is somebody who I respect and admire a lot, and the then PCC president in Kerala. I have been working in Kerala PCC from then. But then, from the day one itself, there had been a lot of these cyber attacks and, let's say, a lot of these obnoxious comments that has been coming against it. I know exactly where it comes from. I don't want to give names, but I know it comes from within the Congress party. And yesterday, I am 110% sure it didn't come from anywhere else. It came from the bequest of certain places in the Congress, because I refused to take down a tweet. And I know, again, like I said, at this moment, I don't want to give names, but I know where this comes from, and people who is hearing it also know that I know.
You've spoken about psychophancy within the Congress party, Chamchas essentially. Who are these people? Are they surrounding Mr. Gandhi in the Bharat Jodo Yatra? What do you have to say about that?
I have the highest of regards for Sri Rahul Gandhi. I personally feel he is doing one of the most commendable things by walking from Kanyakumari to Kashmir and trying to unite this country and give a message of love. But at the same time, I feel so sad for him because of the people he has surrounded himself with. Because sadly, the people who are with him, the people who are around him, the people who claim to be his supporters are people who are filled with vicious hatred, who stands for nothing which he is standing for.
Yes. I want to ask you, within the young brigade of the Congress party, there are many who've been disappointed. Would you say that there is a pattern that the younger ones who just want things to change within the Congress are not really seeing that change, and that's why they're leaving?
See, when the Congress presidential election happened, despite my father and a lot of senior leaders who I know from the time I was born, standing with Sri Kargeji, who I have a lot of respect for, they all stood with him, but I stood for Dr. Shashi Tharoor for a reason, and that is because I sincerely thought at the point that the organization had to change. But sadly, some changes are required. Without change, you can't survive. But the other question you mentioned about young and old, I don't think it is a matter of young and old. Because in the last 2-3 years, it is not just young people who has left. You had a lot of stalwarts, including many chief ministers, including cabinet ministers, including many tall stalwarts who have been working for 5-6 decades also who left. And then you had a lot of young promising people also who left. So this is not a problem of young and old or experience and non-experience. This is something else. But I don't want to get into that conversation at this point of time. But this is already a conversation that is around for a long time.
You know, Mr. Antony, have you spoken to your father about your decision? And how do you
No, I
really...
haven't.
Okay.
No, I haven't. Sadly, I haven't had a chance to interact with him in the last 24 hours because he, along with the rest of my family, is in my native town in Alapura attending a family function. So in that point, sadly, I didn't get any time to speak to him. But at a more opportune time, when we could have a more, let's say, with all this out of the way and when our head clears up, like definitely we will have a chat, but we haven't had a chat.
You know, by and large, is being seen as a big setback because of the manner in which your father has been associated with the Congress party, former defense minister, chief minister, somebody seen as very close to Mrs. Gandhi, a troubleshooter of the Congress party. In that sense, this is being seen as a huge setback for the Congress, Mr. Antony.
See, I had no intention to hurt the Congress or anybody in any manner. End of the day, I just did something which I believe is the best course of action based on my conscience, and it comes from certain places. And end of the day, I also have sincere regrets if this has caused hurt to anybody, because this was not my intention. At the same time, I do feel that whatever has happened in the last few hours, days, weeks, I don't think it has been a situation which has put me in the greatest of places, and I do think that I'm making the right choices and decisions.
You know, you have spoken about the documentary. For the minute this documentary was released, essentially, the opposition said that we said so. The truth comes out. Mr. Gandhi said this yesterday. The truth finally comes out. It has a nasty habit of emerging from somewhere. What do you have to say about a lot of people, including Mr. Rahul Gandhi, taking the BBC documentary for gospel truth?
See, end of the day, I don't think anybody has taken, including Mr. Gandhi, has taken the BBC as the gospel truth. I don't think that was his intention at all. And like I said, like my tweet is very clear. It's a 4-line, very simple tweet, which I do think was a very innocuous tweet, which was made with good intentions. It does say something very clearly, and that is, I have a lot of political differences with the BJP, just like a lot of other parties. However, when it comes to certain core things, which is concerning our country's core interest, including sovereignty, we should actually think twice before we make political statements or we pursue certain kind of politics. And that is what I said. And I don't think you or me or 99% of the 1.3 billion Indians in this country will disagree with that. And I stand with whatever I said, and things are very clear.
Mr. Anil, my colleague Mosmi is also with us, but before we go to Mosmi to take a couple of questions from you, I just want to quickly ask you one thing that I've been wanting to. You spoke about undermining the sovereignty of the country. Recently, Vijay Singh made comments about proof of the surgical strike. What do you have to say about these questions being raised during the course of the Bharat Jodo Yatra?
See, Sri Digvijay Singh ji is a very, very senior leader of the Congress. And I completely, like, end of the day, I have deep respect for him. But the party stance was very clear, and this is not something which I would like to comment on.
Okay. Mosmi, you can come in. You'd like to take a couple of questions. Mosmi, remember, is in Jammu and Kashmir with Rahul Gandhi. In fact, she is covering the Bharat Jodo Yatra there.
Right, Sneha, thank you very much. Hello, Mr. Antony. I cover the Congress party, and we are right here at the Bharat Jodo Yatra. I just heard what you said about Digvijay Singh. Something very similar to what has happened in the entire controversy regarding Digvijay Singh was Jairam Ramesh intervening in between while the journalists were asking questions and shoving the mic off. They shoved our mic also at that time, Jairam did. And right here, when you put out that tweet, you've been trolled by your own party, by your own leader, by your own party men, and told to take down that tweet. So you were talking about that intolerance. Do you think that the coterie surrounding Rahul Gandhi is perhaps misleading Rahul Gandhi?
See, at this moment, I don't want to comment on anything regarding Sri Rahul Gandhi or his office. I have already clarified in the show, and I had said it in multiple places. Sri Rahul Gandhi is somebody I have deep respect for, and whatever he is doing at this moment, which is actually undertaking this yatra from Kanyakumari to Kashmir to unite this country and spread the message of love, is a very commendable thing. At the same time, I feel very bad for him because of the kind of people he has surrounded himself with and the kind of people who claim to be his supporters, because they are tearing down and they stand for everything he doesn't stand for.
So claim to be supporters. Interestingly, you were in Kerala when the Bharat Jodo Yatra, I covered that, and the Kerala lobby is considered to have considerable clout at RG's office, not only RG's office, but in the Congress.
At this point of time, but whatever I said in that letter is very clear, but I just resigned an hour back, and I think it is I think it is too early for me to speak about anything other than what has happened in the morning. That letter is very clear in its wordings, and whoever needs to understand it will understand.
Mr. Antony, a lot of your colleagues have gone ahead and joined the Bharatiya Janata Party. A lot of your former colleagues have come out and praised you, lauded you. Priyanka Chaturvedi, Jaiveer Shergill, Shehzad Poonawala. Are you going to be the next one to join the BJP?
I have no intentions to join any other political outfit, and at this moment I don't even have any intention to pursue any politics further. I would be very happy to pursue my professional work. I am a Stanford graduate who already have a higher certification in artificial intelligence from MIT. I have a very thriving professional career, and I do think that at this moment it is best for me to pursue that rather than politics, and that is what I would be focusing on at this moment.
You know, since the Congress speaks a lot about, intolerance vis-a-vis the BJP, saying that there is hate, do you think the party could really do a bit of thinking or introspection about so many voices of dissent within the Congress party and accommodating all of these people instead of, abusing them? Like you said, you know that the threats came from the Congress.
See, yes, that is why to your respected colleague, I had already made it very clear that when the Congress presidential election was happening, even when people, including my father, had stood with Kargeji, I had stood with Dr. Tharoor, because I did feel that it was time for a change, and we actually needed change, and we actually needed to go to the future by taking everybody. This also I clarified multiple times before, where I do think that if the party needs to survive and move forward, we need to take all kind of people forward, and we need to move forward. And that is the system which was required. But like whatever happens, happens.
You know, the Bharat Jodo Yatra is underway. In fact, it's about to get over in just a few days from now. What do you have to say about the attempt of Mr. Gandhi to unite the country, so to speak, like they've been talking about?
I already spoke about it, where I said that whatever he did and he is doing is very commendable, and this is one of those this is certainly one of those walks which will go down in India's history.
Has anybody from the Congress approached you? Anybody from the Kerala Congress talking about the fact that maybe this was hasty, maybe you should withdraw your resignation?
So whatever decision I made, I have made with the best of my intention, and after listening to my conscience, and I don't think that anybody will be able to make me change my mind at this point of time.
Right. Mosmi, in fact, continues to be with us. Mosmi?
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Antony.
Okay.
Mr. Antony.
All right. We've in fact Mr. Anil Antony there speaking to India Today, getting us his views. He says nothing is going to make me change my decision. That's an important point. He's spoken about the fact that right now he's got no plan essentially to join the BJP. He says, I have a thriving professional career and I intend to pursue that. However, his father doesn't know about this yet. We bet that he does already, but father and son essentially really haven't had a conversation about his decision to call it quits.